This episode is brought to you by the Shop 1 in 5 Pledge. We believe that when you purchase from a small online or offline business, your dollar goes further. Hey friends, Mina and I created the Shop 1 in 5 Pledge, and we're inviting you to take it with us. It's a commitment to make 1 in 5 of your purchases from a small business, online or offline. It's a way to make an impact together where and when it matters most. Because the truth is, your purchasing power matters now more than ever. Head to shop1in5.com to take the pledge. Make that commitment to shop 1 in 5 of your purchases towards a small business. We also invite you to shop the directory if you don't know where to find other small businesses. It's right there on the page. And we're asking for you to share the pledge. Imagine if each of us told 3 to 4 people about the Shop 1 in 5 Pledge. It would be an incredible and life-changing for so many small businesses. Tell your friends, your family, and your social network. It costs nothing extra and makes a world of difference. Our purchases have the ability to change lives. Okay, let's jump in.
Welcome to the Product Boss Podcast, where we help product-based businesses grow their sales and improve their strategies.
Hey everyone, I want to introduce you to my co-host and biz bestie, Mina Kunlo-Sitep, an Amazon guru that has built a multi-6-figure product-based business.
And introducing the other half of the Product Boss, Jacqueline Snyder. She has helped launch and grow over 500 fashion apparel and accessory brands, even one of her own.
And together, we share our inventory of secret weapons that will help you dig deep and do the work it takes.
Are you ready? Let's build together.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Product Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Jacqueline Snyder, with my holiday prepared co-host, Mina Kunlo-Sitep. Hey, Mina.
Hey, Jacqueline.
She gave me a face. She's like, not so prepared, but thanks for that intro.
I was like thinking, is that proper grammar?
Holiday
Who
ready.
knows? Yeah, it's fine. It works. I got the gist. I hope you did too.
Trying to figure out what to say about Mina. It's a lot of pressure, friends. So today we're actually, speaking of, keeping our heads on straight, we are actually going to talk about how to keep your head on straight this holiday season because, as moms of young kids, and we homeschooled our kids this entire time during the pandemic and everything, normally, and I'm sure if you've heard these episodes before, or we had an episode about the New Year's, right? Like the transitional times. So back to school, when your kids are going back to school, is almost like this new season, this new year. And how do you transition? Well, holy moly, this transition is a whole other thing.
It sure is. I mean, when we're thinking about like the new season, the new transitions, we really would try to wrap our minds around, okay, this is what's going to happen next, right? And this one is definitely like, it's kind of like trying to play in with the ground moving under your feet sort of thing. But I think it's so helpful now that most of our kids are going back to school. We're trying to get kind of into our mode, of being really productive, making money during the holidays, getting super excited and everything. It's just a fun way for us to kind of help you, to pull you into the new season and the new year, quote unquote, new year of school starting for our kids and planning for the holiday, because it is so helpful when you even do that big chunk, right? Mm-hmm. Of, okay, I'm going to plan for this. And it's going to be so helpful because I'm going to be prepared for all the things.
Yeah. Because, fall season, winter season are some of our favorite holidays. I know they're mine. For example, like everything gets decorative. You come indoors, the scents change, the flavors and tastes of things change. Everything's, and I say that not changing, but there's pumpkin spice latte time and all those things. And it's really fun and festive. And they're also busier because there's a lot of school stuff that might have to happen if you got kids. There's just a lot of things. And so it's back to school, it's back to work, it's back to this new normal. And then we also, my friends, have to sort of be on our toes in case things change again. Because welcome to the last 2 years, right?
Right. You never know what tomorrow will bring for sure, even as a parent. But we want you to feel like you're stepping into the season. You're stepping into it instead of being like, oh my gosh, how did I get here?
Right. So what we want to do is keep our heads on straight, because honestly, that's probably the same with Mina, and I, right? We've been trying to plan this so we can step into it. We can get our kids off to school. We can do the things we need to do for them. We're, we're going to plan for health things. How do we work out or eat well, or, there's the personal stuff that we're going to do. But then there's also, it's a really busy season for us as product-based business owners, as, us supporting product-based business owners. And so also from a business side, like how do we basically keep our head on straight to balance personal and business and accomplish all the things that we want to accomplish by the end of the year?
Right. Because who has all the time for all the things? You really have to really think about it ahead of time. And so let's start off with that one first tip, though, that we kind of talked around, is that when Jacqueline and I we plan around transitional times. So that means beginning of school year. That means the new year, January, and that means end of school, usually around May.
And beginning of summer.
Yeah, and beginning of summer. It's really big transitions for us that the mood shifts, our lives change, our schedules abruptly change because kids are in school, they're out of school, or the new year triggers, the things that we want to prioritize and get done. So those are the times that we are really putting pen to paper and saying, we know that our schedules are going to change. What is that going to look like?
Yeah. And even if you don't have kids and it's, you're the boss of your business, basically, summer's still a time. I mean, we're all in summer, coming out of summer. It's like you want to still experience summer. Yeah. So you still want your season is different. The summer, the weather's warmer. People are going on vacation. They're wanting like summer Fridays, taking the weekends.
Yeah. I love that you brought that up because those line up with consumer spending, right? So consumer spending lines up with how we're saying to schedule your life because there's, it shifts from holiday to new year, new you, new bodies, new life sort of
things.
Yeah, new things. Exactly. End of school year is mostly about summer. What's the summer going to look like? The freedom, the sunshine, the water, all those things. And as you get into the school year, that's usually like what's the leaves falling from the trees. Like Jacqueline was saying, there's a different feel to everything. There's, pumpkin spice in the air, that sort of thing.
Right.
So it really is a shift of consumer spending on how people are buying and subconsciously or consciously, of what their dollars are going to.
Yeah. I mean, they always said that the J months were slower months to sell retail, for example. So last year we didn't see this. 2020 was 2020, right?
Yeah, right.
Like everything went out the window somewhere.
Like through the wall, like the Kool-Aid
dumpster
man.
fire. Yeah. But like June, July of last year, a lot of people had amazing months. And they used to say like, I never had amazing months. And then this year, especially as we've worked with our students at Multi-Stream Machine or our masterminders, a lot of them were saying, June and July felt slower. Well, that was way more typical. And especially in a year like this, where people were kind of holed up and like weren't traveling. And then as things shifted, they actually did travel.
Right.
We did see spending on a lot of things drop, but they were spending on travel. They were spending on experiences. They were spending on other things. And so when you think about the spending nature and you're all product-based business owners, exactly what Mina said. So why does it get busy in the fall holiday, end of Q3, Q4? Because people have to buy that entire back to school list, or they're buying, new backpacks, new clothes for the fall season. Yeah. Even if you don't have kids, because kids grow out of their clothes all the time. I mean, we all want new sweaters or new Uggs or new cute hats.
Even when you think about Starbucks, they come out with a new cup, right? A new cup design.
New foods, right?
Right. New flavors, everything. So really your mood shifts because your senses are drawn to different things in different seasons.
And because people are inside, they're buying like a lot of home products, right? Like decorative home candles to change the scents and have that like festive experience. So that's why this really is a very busy time for, I would tell you, out of our students, like the majority.
Yeah.
Unless you're Mina with her business that gears people up for back to school and camp, So, and then the new year time, sometimes there's a little bit of a slump after the holiday season. Yes. Or there's a halo period. But the new year, what we see, especially with me being, a fashion designer and launching all these like apparel brands, a lot of times what I see in January that sells really well are supplements, vitamins, journals, workbooks, activewear, things that are like they've taken some initiative to try something new and they have to buy stuff or they want to buy stuff that gears them up for it. And then, summer months, like as they get prepared for the summer, consumer spending will shift, like Mina said, like maybe sunblocks, creams, bathing suits, beach bags, decorative for outside and inside.
Travel a lot of the time. And then as we get back into the school year, I know you guys love when we give the candle the candle references.
We do talk about
like
candles.
100% of the time.
I feel like we used to talk about jewelry.
Yeah.
And then we do candles. We're going to need it like for the new season. We're going to need a new product category to talk about.
Yeah. So candle season is coming up, right? August really kicks that off. So really shifting what you do with intention. So that's going to kind of lead us into the meat and potatoes of what we wanted to talk to you about. And that really is about thinking about what you want to get done for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So that is kind of going to be our secondary big tip of all this, is that you need to actually sit down and think about, what was it that when I was going through the summer that I thought, I'll just do that later. I'll just, do that,
I'll get that done later.
Yeah, I want to do this. You know how there's that whole big list of, I really want to do this, but you just haven't started on it. So you kind of have to go through that list and prioritize what you really want to get done. What are the, what's the 20% that you're actually going to get off, that list that you kept adding to and kept adding to and kept adding to. So by the end of the year, you'll know, okay, I got everything that I really, 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 really wanted to done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We don't want you to get to the end of the year and be like, oh no, I didn't get it done. Like we don't, oh, I had this huge thing I wanted to do. Listen, we all have like crazy to-do lists. And when we get inspired, I know me, I'm like a quick start visionary. So I'm like, oh, there's like 100 million things that I'm like, yeah, we can do this, but we don't have enough time to do all the things, right? Time is
Nor
scarce.
Should we do all the things.
Right. And not every great, beautiful idea as creatives is something we take action on. So we want you to think about your idea for the rest of the year, right? We've got, but by the time you're listening to this, we've got September, October, November, December, 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Math is, our specialty around here.
Somewhere around 4 months.
I used my fingers to count the months, by the way. So if you're thinking about that, we're like, okay, at the end of 2021, what are some bigger things or projects or things you have wanted to accomplish or get done by the end of the year that are personal and business? So we're going to split this into personal and business because like we said, like Mina and I, we've been on a health journey. We've been working on our nutrition, on our bodies, this
health journey is a lot harder than the business journey, let me tell you.
Because we work a lot, friends. Like sometimes we're like, did you eat? No. Did you eat? No. Did you drink any water? No. It's like we're on a desert island recording podcasts. Anyone else? And then business too, right? And so we could back into that. We think about backing into that from the idea of like, okay, that's my end result. Then how do I back in and how do I start to prepare for that? How do I take this to-do list to done? Hey, Product Boss, can you believe it's already time to start gearing up for the holiday season?
The busiest time for Product Bosses is coming up fast, and we want to help you get ready to make it your best one yet.
Because if you're being honest and we're being honest, right about now, you might feel like you hardly have enough time as it is. How are you supposed to fit 100 hours into 40? How can you get all the things done?
You're not sure your business can handle the influx of the holiday season. You'd love to scale, but how are you supposed to do that? Especially if you're making everything yourself.
And you're not even sure what to focus on. Which products should you be highlighting? How many do you really need? Is there a way to scale without offering 100 options? And spoiler alert, yes, there is.
Well, you're not alone, friend. So many product bosses feel this way, especially toward the end of the year, and we're here to help.
That's why we created our upcoming free workshop series, The Product Boss's Guide to Getting Holiday Ready. We're hosting 3 free workshops where we're sharing some of the biggest tips and tricks on how to prepare yourself and your business so you can make the most of the profit pop at the end of the year.
We want to help you gear up for the busiest time of year so you can crush those goals and make your holiday season the best one yet without the overwhelm, because we know you want to enjoy the holidays too.
So head to rockyourholidaypromotions.com/free-workshop. And yes, that's a mouthful. So the easier thing to do would just be click on the link in the show notes. And let's gear up for the end of the year together.
I mean, when you're getting ready for the biggest time of year, the holiday season, you want to make sure that you make the decisions based off of the big things, right? So those are the things
needle movers.
Yeah, the needle movers, the things you're prioritizing. And so, I mean, think about Steve Jobs, all those people that wear the same clothes, eat the same breakfast, right? They're not thinking about those menial little tasks of, oh, what do I eat this morning? They're focusing the bulk of their energy into what they found to be their top priorities. Mm-hmm. And so what we want you to do is really think about, okay, I'm going into transition period where I know I'm overly frazzled and schedules are changing. I'm getting the kids here and, you feel like kind of in a flux. And then I'm going to make sure that these are the things that I know I need to do. And it's so helpful because you're not having to think about those things on the fly. You're like, okay, I know that by the end of the year, these are my top priorities. And as Jacqueline said, you back up into that. You're like, okay, I'm going to work backwards. These are my 4 key things that I really, really, really want to do. And then I'm going to set them into the months coming up.
Okay, but the fashion designer over here is like, I don't want all of you like buying black turtlenecks and that's all you wear. I don't want you to be like, okay, wait, in order to get all my things done, I have to wear the same clothes every day, right? Because as a fashion person, I like to wear different clothes. But so how do we keep our heads on straight, right? It's finding the needle mover. So, in the workshops that we're having our amazing product bosses guide to getting holiday ready, which we'll put the link in the show notes. They're totally free workshops. So we just got done with our workshop that is helping people take their to-do list to done. And by saying that, it's the idea of, because so many times we add all these things to our plate that aren't necessary, aren't needle movers, aren't, that would be nice, but it's not the thing that's going to make you revenue. It's not the thing that's going to get you more time. It's not the thing that's going to take more things off your plate. And so we really want you to think through, like, what is that thing at the end of the year that's going to shift you forward? And if you were to put all your energy towards that, right? If you were to stay focused and put your energy there, what could that result be?
Yeah. And to stay motivated. I want to come back to what you said about, as a fashion designer, I don't want you guys to only wear black and black turtlenecks. Meanwhile, this lady only shows up in black every single day.
But they're different versions of black.
But right? Because the thing is, when you do have to make decisions, you do have to make little decisions.
What's a hack that you do? So actually you're right though. I will buy like if I find a short that fits me really well or a shirt, I'll actually probably buy, this is me growing up. This is me growing up with people who bought wholesale. So we'd like packs of 6 of things.
If they fit really well.
Yeah. So I do. So like I will, you're right. That is a hack.
Yeah. That is a hack.
Call me out
but I want to go back to it a little bit because I do think that you only place focus on it if it makes you feel a certain way.
Right. If it's easy. So you're right. Cause like I have 3 of the same, I bought a pair of shorts. I was like, that works really well. I know it fits me. I don't have to try on a bunch of things and take them off and be like, oh, it's not fitting me today. So I'll put on shorts and then I have also the same shirts. And then I actually am dressing up, but I don't have to worry about it in my closet of like, when you're like trying on jeans, you're like, oh no, not today. That's not going to work.
Yeah, right. It's just not that important. It makes you feel not great. Right.
Right.
And so
what do you do?
Well, at the end of the year, though, if I want to, I just pick whatever clothes, you know, like what makes me feel the most comfortable.
But what's the thing for you that like you kind of make work easier in your life to like?
I eat the same foods.
Oh yeah, you do.
So for a long time when I was cooking, we would have our favorites every week. So Mondays was, our family. Every day was a family favorite. So it was spaghetti, chicken, pho. So we're talking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then I forget what Thursdays was. Oh, ribs. Like I'd make some sort of ribs, like pork ribs, beef ribs, that sort of thing. And then Friday was going out to eat day. Well, now that has changed because we've been in COVID and we just order what we need to. And we've been really busy. And then the following week, guess what? We'd have the same exact things. Sometimes the seasoning was different or a different version of it, or whatever, but we never got sick of it. Why? Because it's a family favorite.
Yeah. I feel like going back and like fighting my words for like what we just said, because you're right. If I actually take some time to self-analyze, same thing, actually what we did in COVID, because it's actually, you know what it is? It's that decision fatigue.
Yeah.
So it's like when you have all these other things that you want to focus on or grow, I think that's, if you can minimize certain decisions that are those things that it's like, what's for dinner?
Yeah.
It's like, that is, I don't know what's for dinner. Maybe we just order, or like you go to the grocery store and you have to take a whole new recipe. Now, listen, if you like cooking, right, then you do you. And actually last year during COVID, we did the same thing. We had like pizza night, pasta night, fish night. It was like fish Friday. It's like we're pescatarians. And so we had very specific meals. And that way every week we could order the same groceries and cook the same thing. And it wasn't that whole
You never got
thing.
sick of it because it was a favorite, you know? But also I do kind of want to come back to the clothing thing. I think you only, when we say needle movers, it's hard to understand what's a needle mover or not. So we explain it in a way that it moves your business, that that it is a money maker or it moves it forward in some sort of way. But I do think that you have to pick needle movers that you'll continually be motivated by. So if it is like you're really into fashion, you're showing up in a certain way, then you do have to pick that thing keeps me motivated. So while you're picking, okay, I'm making these decisions, these are my top priorities at the end of the year, and you pick those, you have to think at the end of the year, what do I want to feel like? So it's like, what do I want to do? What do I want to feel like? I'm going to back into both of those, you know? And if you don't care what you look like, you know, we're raising our hands over here. We show up when we need to show up, you know, but being prepared for like a photo shoot and that sort of thing, that has really helped us, you know?
Yeah. So let's just talk about a couple of things that you can do, like as we're thinking about keeping our heads on straight. So something that you might all do if we go from a business perspective is that you're thinking like, I want to make more money, or like maybe you have a revenue goal for the end of the year, like the last quarter. I know our Multi-Stream Machine students, like we've seen them double, triple, quadruple their revenue just by implementing like one module in Multi-Stream Machine. And then when they've like prepared and they've taken Multi-Stream Machine and then they end up in Q4, like they're blown away. They like leap. They go from, you know, like a $30,000 business to an $80,000 business, an $80,000 business to a $150,000 business. Like,
but you know what? It was the key difference is they had a target.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. So when you're thinking about this, because these are students that we actually work with versus right now talking into a microphone to all of you out there in the world. Hello. We can't see you. We don't know about your businesses. We do know our students in Multi-Stream Machine. We know our masterminders as well and what they do. And so, and especially in our masterminds, well, we do it in both actually. We help in both students and masterminders. We plan, right? We come up with 90-day plans.
We keep their heads on straight.
We come up with like, what's your 90-day roadmap? What's your plan? That's something that is a bonus in Multi-Stream Machine, for example. And where do we start? We start with the end in mind. How much money do you want to make?
Yeah.
What revenue do you want to bring in? Because ultimately you're in business to make money, right? We're not gonna skirt around this thing. And so when you're thinking about that, okay, I want to make $50,000 between October, November, and December. I want to add, right? Or I want to make $100,000. I want to make $200,000, whatever that number is.
Or I want to make $2,000.
Yes. I want to make an extra $1,000 a month, whatever it is. How are you going to get there? You have to work backwards. You have to plan. We see people say then, I want to get on this new platform, for example, or I want to start sending emails, or I actually want to like figure out my costs and my margins. These are projects that we back into because there's like hidden money in places too that you can discover. So as you're really thinking about your business, now listen, can you do all of them all at once? No, but you can create a plan.
Yeah.
So that's really, so let's just like really round this out with like how to keep their heads on straight. What would you take away?
Rounding this out, how do you keep your head on straight? You find the target at the end of the year. So let's say it's those 3 priorities that you want to do. That's the target. And you keep your head on straight and focus on getting to that target.
You don't get distracted.
Yeah. So you just literally go for the target. You run like heck to it and you do what you need to do to get to that point. Because you know that those are the things that you really wanted to do. And those are the things that would make you feel in a certain way that you felt really accomplished, or you felt, you know, that it was successful, or that it felt really good in doing. Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure it feels good, you know, then the target will pull you towards it, you know, kind of working your way backwards, of course. And you'll be able to make it. And the result that you had thought of in the very beginning is what you wanted it to be.
Yeah. And my tip would be, as you're thinking about what you want to happen by the end of the year, whenever you're making decisions before, I want you to think through and say, is this going to help me hit my goal? Because so many times, like our students and our mastermind, so many times they're like, hey, I've had this idea of doing this. Or I want to add this, or I want to do this. And the question is like, why? Why right now? What's your goal again? Where did you want to be at the end of the year? Yeah. Because you're like, well, I don't need it, but I'd like to do it. We all want to do a whole bunch of things.
So many things.
So especially as creatives, right? We want to do all the things. Doesn't mean we can do it all at the same time. So as you can check yourself, if you want to hear our voices in your, head as you're sort of thinking through stuff, we have students that DM us all the time. They're like, I remembered what you said, and like I kept it in my head, and like I didn't do something, which is actually sometimes better than doing all the things.
Right. Permission to not do it.
Permission to not do it. Because if you have that end result, and when you're asking yourself, this decision that I'm making, is it going to help me hit my goal at the end of the year? And you could say no.
Mm-hmm. Then no, not right now.
Yeah, just a not right now. Put it in a folder, put it somewhere on your desktop, ideas for later, shelve those ideas and stay focused to getting you there. Now, if you want help doing this, we just did that workshop, and it's an amazing workshop, and it's
replay ready though.
Yeah, the replay is ready for you. So it's take your to-do list to done. It's that 6-step done process to getting more done in less time. You can still catch the replay. So click the link in our show notes to join the free workshops. We still have next week on August 24th, we have the Maker's Guide to Scaling. And on August 31st, we have Unlock Your Hidden Bestsellers. And all of you that join us in this amazing workshop series will also get access to the Rock Your Holiday Promotions Challenge, which kicks off September 13th. We are in it with you this holiday season, friends. Let's build this together.
Yep. We'll see you in there.
Thank you for being here and listening all the way through the Product Boss podcast. If you love our show and it has helped you in any way in your business, would you mind doing 2 things for us? Subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review. Reviews help other product entrepreneurs know that this is the place to be to grow their businesses and realize that they're not alone. And we know that you all know that a 5-star and honest review helps you sell more products to more people. So you know that your reviews help us reach more listeners around the world. Remember, what we give is what we receive, and we are all about helping each other in the Product Boss community. We are all in this together. We would be so appreciative of you if you could take the time right now to subscribe, leave a review, and even share this episode on social or someone you know so we can impact more lives. And remember, subscribing means that you will get notified each time we release a new episode so you never miss a thing. You have helped us grow and climb into the top 10 of all marketing podcasts, and together we can keep climbing. Thank you, friends. And remember, there is room at the top for all of us. This episode is brought to you by the Shop 1 in 5 Pledge. We believe that when you purchase from a small online or offline business, your dollar goes further. Hey friends, Mina and I created the Shop 1 in 5 Pledge, and we're inviting you to take the pledge with us. It's a commitment to make 1 in 5 of your purchases from a small business, online or offline. It's a way to make an impact together where and when it matters most. Because the truth is, your purchasing power matters now more than ever. We're inviting you to take the pledge if you head to shop1in5.com. The link is in the show notes. And when you get there, please make sure to share the pledge with your friends, your family, and your customers. Let's invite everyone to take the Shop 1 in 5 Pledge so that we can all use our purchasing power to change lives.